unexpected part.
grants
Sometimes
legal
the skills and
authority
knowledge
to
gained in
make
school
decisions and
translates
carry out
directly into
specific
careers. Other
duties
times,
and
it does not.
responsibilities.
Interest
A
evolves,
commissioned
leading
officer is
to
a member of the
entirely
armed
different
forces
pursuits
who
altogether.
has
You see
been given
someone
authority by
who
the
did
former commission
medicine,
from
he
government
ends
or
up
head
a
of state.
politician,
This
and he will not
commission
even know
grants
how
them
to
legal
read
authority to
a
make
stethoscope.
decisions and carry out
Later, you
specific
see somebody
duties
who did
and
engineering, he will
responsibilities.
veer
So
off into
such
another
category
field.
of people
Um,
are called
when I was
commissioned
doing my master's, I
officers.
believe,
They
I
are
know a
formally
banker
commissioned
who
by
was in social
appropriate
sciences. He
authority
had come
from
to
government or
obtain
head
a
of state.
master's in
And that
social
is
sciences.
why
He
if
is
you are
tilting
into,
toward
if you have
that
relations
direction.
or
He was a
friends
bank manager of
in the
FCMB.
military
Then,
or in the
then
academy,
we also have
you see that
some
on their
people
passing
that
out
may have
parade, it is
studied
usually the
biology and they
president.
end up
If the
in
president
making
is not there, the
environmental
deputy
policies and
president is
several
there
other
to
things. This is
commission them.
what you studied versus who
During my
you
passing out parade
become.
some years ago, it
You can
was the
study one
then
thing
president.
and become another thing. Then now what you studied versus who you are. I want to return to what I talked about first, which is the purpose, fulfillment of purpose. There is something you are and there is something you studied. If you study what you are, you will have fulfillment of purpose. But if you studied or if you study what you are not, there will be conflict of interest. You will find it difficult to flow in that area. It is not everybody that will find fulfillment in the theaters. I mean, surgical theaters this time around. There are people that their fulfillment comes in movie theaters. There are people that their fulfillment comes in several other life career paths. There is something you are before you start studying something. It's a very intriguing distinction. What we study often shapes our knowledge and skills, but who we are is something that is all-encompassing. It accommodates our values, our experiences, our personality, who we are. Sometimes what we study aligns closely with our identity, like someone who studies psychology being naturally empathic, and then some other times we might study another thing and we are just looking for a way to drop that certificate and go do something that aligns with our interest. Every human being that enters this world came here to fulfill a particular purpose. Do not be deceived that this given field is the best. There is no best field. It is what you make out of it that matters to us. So this, I'm talking about what you studied now versus who you are. There is something you are first before you enter into school to study. If you actually study what aligns with your personality, you will come out with flying colors. You will do whatever you are doing with flair and you will enjoy it. Ultimately, our studies can inform and enrich our identity, but they don't define it. How do you feel? It's a question now. How do you feel your studies have influenced who you are? Let me use my younger sister for an example. While we were little, anything you tell her, she will argue it. She must always give you reasons that this black now is actually white, that it is not black. There is nothing you will tell her that she will not give you reason. So we already know that she likes argument, and she will do well if she studies law. Eventually, she's a lawyer. That is an example of somebody who is doing what the person is. And no matter what you like, do. The person will never leave that career. He or she will find fulfillment inside it. He or she will find joy executing it. He or she will go to places doing that particular thing that aligns with their principles. If we talk about principles, values, and personality, there are environmental factors that shape our personality, shape our principles, and shape our values. The places where we grew up, the people we interact with, and who we meet. These things, they shape who we are and the things we will be able to do in the future. Let us go quickly to who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You've looked at yourself. Who do you think you are? Are you the person that can do this? Are you the person that can do this other one? Who are you? It's a question that you need to answer. Who you are is a profound question that makes you think deep and explore. It makes you consider various facets of your identity, your core values, your passion, what you have passion for, your formative experiences, the things that you went through to be where you are, and how you perceive yourself also. These things defines who you are. What do you want to do? What can you do? What do you have the flair for? What do you want to do apart from what you studied? Because we may study one thing and eventually do another thing. We are concluding this first part, which has to do with what you study versus what you eventually become, or making out a career outside of your scope of study. After this, we will now talk tech. I want to conclude by saying you may have gone into the university, you did microbiology, you did economics, you did business administration, you did every wonderful courses. But as you are out now, you know that you've done communication. You know that the radio house is not for me. You did microbiology. You know that it's not for me. This particular course is not for me at all. I'm not seeing myself in this place. I'm not seeing me making headway in this particular field. What I want to say is this: it is not late for you to switch courses. I will take you back to who you are, what you've been doing. There is nobody that is not something or that is not doing something. Some persons, when they enter before they got into the university, they had small skill that they were doing. They continued that skill, continued doing it. Even while they were in school, they were still doing it. If they come out, if you are prospering in that particular field, and you know that this one you studied now is not what you can do, you can always borrow a leaf from what you've studied to apply into what you eventually become, because that is what defines you. There are people that are in events, people who do events. If somebody who is gifted in event management and design, if he enters this church now and there is a program that needs to take place here, the person is gifted naturally and the person have got some skills. The person will have some ingenuity to bring into the event. Once that person does something, it will be different from the norm. The person will not say, this thing is not good, this is not wonderful. You will not leave it and start chasing something you are not gifted in. I went to a science school, secondary school. There are people that you don't know mathematics, you're finding it difficult doing mathematics. You have problem with numbers. But since you like the prestige associated with being a science student, you want to be science student by all means. And you'll be grappling with this, grappling with that. When you can actually do something you have flair for. After that, you come outside to compete with people that have been naturally gifted for this thing.